Hi, my name is Ben Mauk. I'm a freelance writer and a grantee of the Pulitzer Center on Crisis Reporting. I wrote 3 stories with the Pulitzer Center, all of them about migration in Europe, and all of them centered around this question of, are refugees welcome in Europe? And all of the stories had to do with the relationship between newly arrived migrants, asylum seekers, and refugees, and the places, in this case in Germany and Poland, where they ended up living. The first of these stories I started working on at the end of 2015. I was working with the Virginia Quarterly Review and an editor there, and we wanted to produce a long-form piece that would look at one small village in Germany and their relationship to a large group of refugees and how that relationship developed over the course of the year. So the village is called Zumta. It's in Lower Saxony, and it has just 100 citizens. And it was briefly in a lot of international newspapers when the German federal government assigned in the end about 800 refugees to this village. So I visited up until September 2016, at which point, as you find out in the piece, the asylum camp closes because most of the migrants have left or have been relocated. Another piece I did for the London Review of Books looked at what had become an epidemic of arson attacks and other types of vandalism and graffiti and threats against refugee housing across Germany. In 2015, there were about 1,000 attacks, so about 3 a day, and there was almost 1 arson attack every other day in Germany on an asylum shelter. The third story I wrote was for Granta magazine, and it was based in Poland. I went to Poland and investigated the lives of refugee seekers and other migrants living there under what is now an openly xenophobic right-wing nationalist government. Poland is now ruled by the Law and Justice Party, and since then things have become increasingly precarious for migrants and refugees in that country. So all of these stories were immersive pieces that involved anywhere from a few weeks to nearly a year of reporting. None of them could have been written without the support of the Pulitzer Center and without the ability to take quite a long time to get to know particular subjects and gain the trust of communities that are often skeptical of outsiders. And all of them, I hope, looked at this issue of migration in Europe over the past few years and the so-called asylum crisis from multiple perspectives, from the perspective of migrants who are coming into Europe, and then also the perspective of Europeans and people who are finding themselves sometimes reluctantly playing host to these new populations.